What I believe about life is you should do something that actually suits your personality. Let's face it, we're sort of working the best years of our lives, most of our waking hours. Well, I started my life off as a lawyer, and then very slowly I sort of started realizing, actually, it doesn't really suit me. I went to stay with my brother in New York, and I remember coming across something called New World coffee. I fell in love with skinny lattes and fat-free muffins. I remember just thinking, this is wonderful. I came back to London with my brother, and I said to him, I just wish we had those New York style coffee bars. I was convinced that there was a real gap in the market, and that's the night I became an entrepreneur. And I started Coffee Republic. It took us about a year to open the first store, and then we grew from 1 to 7, 30, 60, 80, 100. So I left in 2001. I realized once I left, that dream I had for my career about loving what I do, that dream had come true in building Coffee Republic. But I think in this generation, because of technology, that's allowed every single person to behave just like an entrepreneur. And to be honest with you, companies need that, because no company is going to survive with these people acting like corporate robots. A company doesn't need a corporate, or used to need it, but it doesn't, because they need people to be awake and innovative and come up with new ideas and try new things and be alive in what they do. Otherwise, the company stays behind and you become a sort of dinosaur. Switched On is essentially about going into work every day being 100% yourself. And being alive in what you do, rather than switched off, which means you go there every day essentially for the paycheck. And you're going there because they're paying you, and you do the same thing you did every day. And you follow, this is how we've always done it, you know. I heard this wonderful word in a company I was speaking at, dominant logic. You know, big companies have dominant logic. This is how we do things. This is how things are done. And being switched off is constantly following that and never challenging that. But in a day where technology changes, you know, our mobile phones every day become redundant, how could the way you should do things in this company still be valid? And that's what we've got to question, is we're in such a rapidly changing world, for want of a better cliche, that we have to be constantly aware. And the best place to start this awareness is to put yourself in your customer's shoes, in your recipient's shoes, and see, how can I make this different? How can I make this experience better? Yes, so my book is divided into 8 habits. The first habit, this is the habit for being switched on. So the first habit for being switched on is believe anyone can do it. People often ask themselves, am I creative? And that's such a block. You shouldn't ask yourself, are you creative, are you entrepreneurial? Everyone is. The question you should ask yourself is, how can I unlock the creativity within me? How can I almost awaken the dormant entrepreneur I have within me? Habit 2 is be your own customer. Put yourself in customers' shoes. Sort of have true empathy with your customer, not as a statistic, not as a market research report, not as a body of people you sell something to, but as human beings like yourself. Habit 3 is get out of the office, get out of bureaucracy, get out there where the customer is, not where your office and the structure is. Habit 4 is the importance of being clueless, which is don't be constrained by this is how we've always done things, because that gets you stuck in conventional thinking. And you know, the same research report you're reading, your competitors are reading, so it gives you no new insight. So you've got to forget about how things have always been done, so you find new ways of doing things. Habit 5 is prototyping, which is when you want to do something, make it real. Don't do PowerPoint presentations. PowerPoint presentations are a complete waste of time. Show people this is how I mean. Play around with it, sort of with whatever. Make a mock-up of what you're trying to do. Role play it. Bring it to life so people can see and feel it, and you can then improve on it. It becomes work in progress. Habit 6 is notching up on no's, which means that basically every new idea you have, however brilliant, will get shot down immediately. And part of the innovative process is to realize that actually people have a status quo bias, people hate new things, people reject new things, and it's up to you to persist until you get a yes, never to give up, really. Habit 7 is bootstrapping, which is when you've got a good idea, you've got to make it happen. Here we say by hook or by crook. Somehow make 2 + 2 = 5. People complain about not having enough budget, having limited resources. That's good. The more limited your resources, the more creative you become. And the last habit, habit 8, is be 100% yourself. This whole barrier between work and life is completely imaginary. it doesn't exist, and you can bring your head and your heart to work.